Hi everybody. It's been a while. I hope you guys are having a good life because it's time for me to update you on mine. That's a great way to start the video. I did it, guys. I did exactly what I said I was going to do in the last video. My windshield wiper flew off in the middle of the highway. I can't drive if I can't feel the foot pedals. Apparently, that's a lie. This is a chit chat, get ready with me, and let's just update you on everything. I have been dying to do one of these since I moved out here, and life just got in the way, but boy do I have a lot to catch up on. So realistically, this may be another hour-long video. Let's get started. So the first thing you guys probably noticed is that I'm no longer living at my grandmother's house, and I am in fact here. British Columbia, Canada. I did it, guys. I did exactly what I said I was going to do in the last video. I'm gonna first go in with, this is the Wet n Wild Primer Serum, Base Serum. It's a little bit tacky, but it also like hydrates the skin, which I definitely need right now because we got super sunburned and my skin is screaming for some hydration. So I officially moved up to Vancouver, Canada in May. That was when we decided that we were going to do it. We drove, which I guess by this point the other vlog is out, so you can go watch just like a very quick glimpse in us driving, but here's the full thing. We drove from Illinois to Vancouver, Canada, and we did so in 3 days, which is actually kind of a feat. I think it took us like maybe like 11 to like 12-hour drives each day. e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. We traveled from Illinois up to Wisconsin. We spent the night actually in Wisconsin. It was our shortest day of driving actually, because we went to go see my Aunt Karen, and Christopher wanted to see the Wisconsin Dells. However, at the end of May, the Wisconsin Dells weren't open because the Wisconsin Dells don't really open until Labor Day weekend, which was the weekend after we had moved up to Canada. So unfortunately, we didn't really get to see the Dells at full capacity, but we did get to go to Goody Goody Gumdrop, which is my favorite little candy store. And we got to go to the Ripley's Believe It or Not Museum, which was quite fun. We did an interactive thing and got some like photos and stuff. It was really, really fun to just kind of be kids for a day. Tuesday morning, we did our big trek across multiple states. We ended in the beginning of Montana. So we traveled through the rest of Wisconsin, all of Minnesota, and all of North Dakota, and we stopped right at the border of Montana. Almost 100% of the day was in rain. And somewhere in, I want to say it was Minnesota. I don't even think we had gotten to North Dakota yet. But somewhere in Minnesota, we were driving and my windshield wiper flew off in the middle of the highway. It just flew off in the middle of the highway. So then we had no windshield wipers. We didn't want it to scratch the glass. I bought a brand new windshield wipers so that if it rained, because we knew that the forecast said it was going to rain, that it would not be like a problem. And then it ended up being a huge problem. We bought new windshield wipers, and we actually had the guy in Minnesota install them for me because I was like, I'm not about to try this myself, and there is no way that like I want it to come off again. So that means that somebody else has to do it. We had the guy fix the windshield wiper, and then we were kind of out without a hitch. Unfortunately, because it was still raining for most of the duration of the day, a couple things in my car got a little messed up. My 707 pillow got a little damp, and then my desk, unfortunately, which was like the biggest problem that I had because I wanted to bring my desk, My desk ended up getting some light water damage. It still works. It's still working good. The damage was minimal, but it did end up kind of messing up my desk a little bit, and I was not happy about that. Stopped off at the beginning of Montana, and literally right before we entered Montana was when the rain stopped. So we were basically in rain all day on Tuesday. Wednesday, we started up in Montana. We made it through all of Montana and Idaho and went into the beginning part of Washington, and that's where we stopped for that day. That was beautiful. It was a beautiful sunny day. It was really warm. It was really nice, but those were the days that we were going through the mountains, and I was supposed to drive the bulk of the day. It wasn't even like a full 3 or 4 hours into the drive that my ankles and my foot and my entire right side basically started swelling horribly. I can't drive if I can't feel the foot pedals. So Christopher had to pick up a lot of the driving again. Thursday morning was our big trek up into Canada, going through all of Washington and then up through the border and up to Canada. However, that morning, for some reason, Google Maps just kept thinking that the highway, the interstate that we were taking, which I believe was the 90, was closed. Like the whole interstate through the entire state of Washington was closed. So instead, it made us go through a bunch of smaller interstate roads. A small town in the sense that if you blinked and you would have driven past it. We did end up going through one really normal sized town up in the mountains in Washington. I cannot remember the name of it, but I will put it here. It was this really cute old German town, and it looked so adorable and it looked so fun, and I kind of wish we had stopped in. We both kind of wish we had stopped in. Eventually, maybe someday we'll take a little mini vacation there or something, because it was really, really cute. So I had to drive through the border myself. So we stopped off in a small town right before the border, got our passports in order. On the website, it says Americans don't need to present any other information. All they need is their passports in order to stay up in Canada for up to 180 days. Apparently, that's a lie. We got stopped at the border, and they were very confused as to why I didn't have bank statements, why I didn't have job stuff, why I didn't have any sort of anything to explain why I would be coming up to Canada for 6 months. We told them, we said, hey, we told them that I was told on the website that I didn't need anything other than what I brought with me, which was true. That is exactly what the website said. Border Patrol didn't want to take that as anything. They were not happy, not thrilled, not excited, very irritated with that prospect completely. I used some Chic Glam blush. This is in the shade On Point. This is my only one. I think these are really, really good though. They're really cute. We got to Border, and Border was not thrilled with my existence. They were pretty upset that I didn't have my bank statements or health insurances. I kind of figured health insurances would be part of it, but I was just kind of hoping for the best. And they were wanting a note from my job. They were really, really upset that I didn't have something from my job stating I will be returning to work on this specific day. And I kind of told them, I was I kind of took a leave from work. I still can get a job at work, but I have a leave from them at the moment. And they just basically told me that when I come back in November, that they will just put me back on the schedule, which is not a lie. I want to point this out. I want to say this to everybody. That is not a lie. My job did say that. They did not give me a note that said you will be returning on X date in November. They sent me nothing. It's all in Word, which is fine, because that's all I needed. I did not realize that the Canadian government also needed that. I'm going to go ahead and use this Halo Glow Elf setting powder. I was really feeling like interrogated. I really felt like they didn't want me there. I genuinely thought they were going to turn me away. Christopher told them, he said like, hi, I am her partner, her significant other. And right now we're just trying to like live together to potentially get married. He told them the truth. And then he told them that he was planning on taking care of me financially. And then I had my parents kind of mention, like send in their sort of bank statements that says that they have this amount of money and that they would be willing to send me that money monthly in order to keep myself sustained up here. They asked Christopher what he does for a job, which for those of you guys who don't know, Christopher, my beautiful, amazing partner, he is a commercial plumber, so he actually does make pretty decent money and he can definitely afford to take care of both of us at this moment. But they asked him what he did for a living. He told them he was a commercial plumber, and that's the only thing they asked him. Nothing else. They didn't bother with anything else for him. And then they went right back into interrogating me. They jumped on my throat and asked me things like, well, what do you plan on doing when Chris is not home? Living? I let them know that I had friends out here and they seemed shocked. They were like, when did you make friends out here in Canada? And I was like, in 2020, when everyone made friends online? They were very much down my throat, and at the end of it all, the Canadian government told me they did not want me to stay a full 6 months. At the end of it, they gave me a visiting record for 2 months, meaning that I had to leave July 21st of 2025. This was a very stressful time for us because they did also let us know that if the case came to be that I wanted to stay longer, I could and was within my right to request for an extension. We had to send it in within 30 days of my due date. So my expiration date was July 21st. And so we sent it in on June 20th. It went through technically on June 21st, exactly 30 days, which was exhausting and scary, but it's fine. Sent in our application, and our application, once it was submitted, said it would have a processing time of 24 days. That is very important for the future of this story, by the way. It said it would take 24 days to process. So thus started our waiting game between June 21st and July 21st. Making sure that I checked pretty regularly. I was making sure that I was keeping on top of all of my emails. Still no avail. I did not receive any word on our application. While I was waiting, I ended up talking to my friend Syrup. You guys probably hear her a lot on our streams. I hang out with Syrup a lot. And Syrup had went on the website and told me, hey Aki, just by the way, in case you didn't realize, it says it can take up to 217 days for your application extension to be processed. That's not what my application said when I sent it in. It said 24 days, not 217. That's insane. 217 days is longer than the 6 months I originally planned to live here. I was like, that's wild. I hope it doesn't take that long because I kind of need to know. And she said, well, here's a kicker. If you submitted your application within the 30-day time limit, which I did, you automatically apply as a implied status. Implied status, for those of you guys who don't know, means that once you submit an application extension, you are legally allowed to stay in the country that you are trying to extend in this case being Canada. You are allowed to stay in Canada while your application is being processed, which means that for every day that Canada doesn't send you back the information saying that you are allowed to stay in Canada or you have to leave in Canada, you're welcome to stay as though you are staying in Canada. I didn't fully believe it because, once again, this is on the Canadian government website and I don't trust anything the Canadian government website says anymore, because why would I? They gave me such crap at the border. How am I supposed to believe that the Canadian government is not lying to me now? Christopher and I went down to the Point Roberts border and we stayed on the Canadian side and we asked a Border Patrol person there to give us verbal confirmation that this is exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. And they did. They told us, the girl told us very specifically, once you hit submit, you're under implied status. So you are welcome to stay in Canada until they decide you are going to leave. I'm in Canada and I'm vibing. We are completely up in the air. We don't know when they're going to or if they're going to get to my application. There's been 0 updates since I sent it in. It's a good chance that they're going to take a pretty long time to get through my visa. So realistically, she said I could be sitting here the full 217 days waiting for my application process, which I once again state is longer than what I initially wanted to stay here for. It's a loophole. It's a loophole, I guess. I don't know. It's absolutely insane. Nonetheless, I do still plan on going home November 1st. If it does take them that long, which I don't really think it will, but in the case that it does take them that long to process, I will be going home November 1st regardless. Anyway, I am working hard on my streaming schedules, but I'm kind of getting a little bit burnt out of it being my full-time job. I won't lie. I want to take it seriously, but I don't really want to do... I want to do things that make me happy. So that's why I'm making more of these types of videos for YouTube. Hopefully people kind of like these ones. If you guys really, really enjoy these, shameless plug. I did it! So, yeah. That was kind of a big life update. I am stuck in Canada currently. Getting up here was stressful, but it was fun. And me and Christopher are doing really, really well up here in Canada. I think my biggest downfall right now is that I do miss my family. And I know that my mom is missing me. My mom is not really used to being home alone and she's been struggling a bit. So I try to make sure that I call her on Facebook and we do video calls pretty regularly. It helps her when I'm around, but I think honestly it helps me when I have her around. I have nothing else to talk about. I think that was all of my chit chat explode out there with everything that you guys needed to know and an update on my life. So that's kind of it. But this is the finished look. I hope you guys have an awesome day, and I'm super zoomed in. This is just how the video is going to end now, by the way. So I hope you guys have a really, really good day, and that you guys enjoy hanging out with me and doing this little eye look. I enjoyed it quite thoroughly, and yeah, I will hit you guys with a couple of vlogs soon. Follow me on Twitch. I'm live there every week, multiple times a week, and subscribe, please, like, and comment if you guys are interested. Let me know about how you feel about these types of things or my life or the fact that I'm here for the next 217 days. And I will see you guys in the next video.